Before we begin tonight's story, leave a comment and tell us which city you're listening to Midnight Letters from. And if you're still here by the end, try giving the story a rating from 0 to 10. Now then, let's begin. I'm 33 years old. I'm recording this from a bathroom that is bigger than the entire apartment I grew up in. I'm looking in the mirror, and the woman staring back at me is wearing a silk robe that cost $800. My skin is perfect thanks to monthly facials on the Upper East Side. I live in a penthouse overlooking Central Park. From the outside, I won the lottery. I am the American dream. I am the girl who married up. But the truth, I am suffocating. I am a prisoner in a golden cage. And the worst part is, I built the bars myself. I grew up poor. Not can't afford the new iPhone poor. I mean eviction notices on the door poor. I clawed my way into NYU on a scholarship, working 2 jobs just to eat. I thought money was the answer to everything. I thought financial security was the same thing as happiness. So I made a trade, a cold, calculated trade. I traded the love of my life, a man who would have walked through fire, for me. For a man who treats me like an accessory he picked up at an auction. And today I saw a photo that broke me. It shattered whatever illusion I had left. So grab your tea, or maybe something stronger, because I'm going to tell you exactly how I ruined my life by getting everything I thought I wanted. Let's go back to where it started, NYU. 10 years ago, that's where I met Mark. Mark wasn't rich. He was studying architecture, drowning in student loans, just like me. We met at a tutoring center where we both worked to make rent. I remember the first time I saw him. He was wearing this worn-out hoodie, looking exhausted, but still smiling at a student who was struggling with math. We bonded over our empty bank accounts. It sounds cliche, but when you're broke in New York City, you find your tribe fast. We fell in love during my sophomore year. I want you to understand the kind of love we had. It was that raw, survival kind of love. We lived on dollar slices of pizza. We'd split a single bagel from the bodega for breakfast. I remember nights in his cramped dorm room in Brooklyn, huddled under blankets because the heating was broken, sharing a single cup of instant noodles. We'd pour extra hot water in just to make the broth last longer so we could both feel full. We shared everything. If I had $5, we had $5. If he had a Metro card swipe left, he'd use it on me and walk home in the rain. We had this spot on the Brooklyn Bridge. We'd walk out there at midnight because it was free entertainment. We'd look at the Manhattan skyline, all those lights, all that money, and we'd promise each other, one day, we're going to be part of that, but we're going to do it together. We made a pact. We pinky promised, like kids. We said we'd focus on our careers, build a foundation, and get married when we weren't drowning. We had a timeline. We had a vision. Mark was my home. He saw me without makeup, with messy hair, stressed out over finals, wearing thrift store clothes, and he looked at me like I was the only woman in the world. He knew my coffee order, bodega coffee, 2 sugars, lots of milk because it was cheap. He knew my fears. He knew my soul. But then, we graduated, and the real world hit me like a freight train. I landed a job at a PR firm in Midtown Manhattan. It was an entry-level grind, but I was suddenly surrounded by a different breed of people. In college, everyone looks kind of disheveled. But in the corporate world, appearance is currency. I looked around and saw women my age carrying Celine bags, wearing Louboutins, getting blowouts before work. I felt inadequate. I felt small. I realized that my thrift store blazers screamed poor. I started to see the importance of image. I started spending money I didn't have on makeup, on clothes, trying to blend in, and I realized something dangerous. I was actually pretty. With the right makeup, the right dress, and a little confidence, men noticed me. Rich men noticed me. My boss started taking me to client dinners. I was exposed to a world I didn't know existed. $200 steaks, bottles of wine that cost more than my monthly rent, private cars instead of the subway. And that's when the comparison started. I'd come home to the tiny apartment I shared with Mark. We had moved in together by then. The paint was peeling. The radiator clanked. Mark was working late at an architecture firm, grinding his way up, exhausted, smelling like the subway. I started looking at him differently. I stopped seeing the boy who gave me his last slice of pizza. I started seeing a man who couldn't afford to take me to the Hamptons. I started seeing a struggle. I wanted to escape. About 2 years into my job, I met my husband. Let's call him Richard. I met him at a networking event for a luxury real estate development. Richard was a client. He was older, 15 years older. He was a partner at a hedge fund. He walked in and he oozed money. Not loud money, but that quiet, confident, I own the building money. He zeroed in on me immediately. Richard didn't ask if I wanted to split a bagel. Richard asked if I liked Italian, and then sent a black car to pick me up for dinner at Carbone. I remember sitting in that restaurant looking at him across the white tablecloth. He was charming. He was articulate. He listened to me talk about my PR campaigns like I was a genius. He paid the bill without looking at it. He introduced me to a life I had only seen in movies. Weekend trips to a vineyard in Napa. VIP tickets to Broadway, jewelry, not engagement rings, just because it's Tuesday gifts, a Tiffany bracelet here, a pair of diamond studs there. He had a penthouse in Tribeca, floor-to-ceiling windows, a doorman who knew his name, a closet bigger than my bedroom. I was cheating. I know that now. I wasn't sleeping with him yet, but I was emotionally cheating. I was dating Mark, living with Mark, but letting Richard wine and dine me. My friends. God, my friends were the worst. They encouraged it. Girl, you have to secure the bag. Mark is sweet, but love doesn't pay the bills in New York. Richard is a catch. You'd be an idiot not to explore this. The voices got louder. The comparison got sharper. Mark took me to a diner for our anniversary because he was saving up for a ring. Richard took me to Paris for a business trip where nothing happened, but everything happened. Richard told me what I wanted to hear. You're too beautiful to work this hard. You should be taken care of. Let me take care of you. It was intoxicating. It was a drug. And I was an addict. The day I broke up with Mark is a day I will regret until I die. I did it for Richard. I did it for the penthouse. I did it because I was tired of struggling, and I thought Mark was holding me back. I came home. Mark had made dinner, spaghetti with jarred sauce, candles from the dollar store. He looked so happy to see me. I sat him down and I broke his heart. I told him I needed space. I told him our paths were going in different directions. I told him I wanted things he couldn't give me. I didn't have the guts to tell him about Richard. I just told him he wasn't enough. I watched the light go out in his eyes. He didn't scream. He didn't fight. He just cried, quietly. He asked, "What about our promise? The Brooklyn Bridge?" I told him promises don't pay rent. I packed my bags and moved into my own place for a month paid for by Richard, secretly before officially dating Richard. 6 months later, we were married. The wedding was at the Plaza Hotel. It was featured in a bridal magazine. My dress cost $15,000. Everyone told me I was the luckiest girl in the world. My parents, who had struggled their whole lives, looked at Richard like he was a god. They were so proud. You made it, baby girl. You won. I stood at the altar looking at this wealthy, powerful stranger, and I told myself I was happy. I buried the memory of Mark and the bodega bagel deep, deep down. Here is the part nobody tells you about marrying for money. When you marry a man for his lifestyle, you are not his partner. You are his employee. And the job description is perfect wife. Richard told me I didn't need to work anymore. Why stress over a PR job paying $60,000 when I make that in a week? Just stay home, manage the house, plan the events, relax. So I quit. I thought it was freedom. It was actually the beginning of my captivity. We have 2 kids now, 4 and 2, and let me tell you about my glamorous life. I am a glorified personal assistant. My day consists of managing the nannies because Richard doesn't want to deal with crying babies, managing the housekeepers, planning dinner parties for his boring business partners, and making sure I look perfect 24/7. Richard is old school. He expects dinner on the table, even though we have a chef. He expects me to be the hostess. I do everything. The mental load is crushing. I schedule the doctors, the play dates, the tutors. I deal with the contractors. I buy the gifts for his mother. And speaking of his family, old money is cruel. Richard's family is from Connecticut. They looked at me like I was trash from the moment we met. To them, I am a gold digger. They tolerate me because I gave them grandchildren, but they never let me forget where I came from. Thanksgiving is a nightmare. I have to host it at our Hamptons house. Last year, I spent 3 days prepping. I managed the caterers. I did the flowers myself to impress his mother. When we sat down, his mother looked at the spread and said, "Oh, did you order this? It tastes commercial." Richard didn't defend me. He never defends me. He just laughed and poured more wine. And then there's the money. Everyone thinks I'm rich. I'm not rich. Richard is rich. I have no access to the main accounts. I have a credit card that he pays off. Every month, he reviews the statement. Why did you spend $300 at Sephora? Do the kids really need more clothes? I think you're going over budget on the groceries. I have to ask him for cash. I have to explain every purchase. If we fight, he threatens to cut me off. You bring nothing to this table financially. He told me once during an argument, "Remember where you came from. You'd be waiting tables if it wasn't for me." It's financial abuse. I know that now. But I'm trapped. I signed a prenup. If I leave, I get almost nothing. I haven't worked in 7 years. I have a gap in my resume that screams unemployable. I have no savings of my own. I am completely, utterly dependent on a man who treats me like a child. The isolation is what kills you. I'm lonely. Richard travels for work constantly. When he's home, he's on his phone or criticizing how I'm raising the kids. There is no intimacy. There is no sharing a bagel. There is no partnership. I am an ornament, a decoration in his penthouse. I miss feeling seen. I miss feeling like a human being. And then, yesterday happened. I was scrolling through Facebook. I haven't looked Mark up in years. I blocked him because it hurt too much. But yesterday, a mutual friend from college posted a photo and tagged him. I clicked. I couldn't stop myself. Mark. My Mark. He looks older. He has a beard now. But he looks incredible. He started his own architecture firm. I saw photos of his projects, beautiful, sustainable homes. He's successful. Not hedge fund billionaire successful, but self-made, solid, happy successful. And then I saw the photo that shattered me. It was a picture of him, a woman, and a little boy, maybe 2 years old. They were standing in front of a house, a nice house with a front porch. The caption read, "Finally bought our dream home. So proud of us." To my wife, thank you for building this with me from the ground up. Building this with me. He found someone who stuck with him. He found someone who did what I was too cowardly to do. And the way he was looking at her, it was the way he used to look at me. That pure adoration, that us against the world look. The woman wasn't wearing designer clothes. She looked normal. She looked happy. She looked loved. I sat on the floor of my marble bathroom and I sobbed. I sobbed until I threw up. I realized that Mark made it. He did exactly what we promised on the Brooklyn Bridge. He worked hard. He built his life. And he succeeded. And he did it without selling his soul. I traded that. I traded a man who would have built me a home with his bare hands for a man who holds the deed to the penthouse over my head like a weapon. I traded warmth for cold, hard cash. I traded a partner for a boss. Last night, Richard came home. I was red-eyed from crying. He didn't ask if I was okay. He asked why dinner wasn't ready. I looked at him, really looked at him. I saw a stranger, a man who bought me, owns me, and doesn't even like me. We got into a fight. I told him I was unhappy. I told him I felt like a maid. He laughed, a cold, cruel laugh. "You're unhappy? Look around you, Sarah. You live in a $10 million apartment. You drive a Range Rover. You don't have a job. You have no idea what the real world is like anymore. Stop complaining and do your job." "My job?" I screamed. "I am your wife." "You're a lifestyle expense," he said. "And you're getting expensive." He walked out and went to sleep in the guest room. That's when I knew. It's over, but I can't leave. I look at my kids. If I divorce him, he has the best lawyers in New York. He will crush me. He will take custody. He will leave me penniless. I have been out of the workforce for too long. Who hires a 33-year-old washed-up PR girl who's been playing house for a decade? I am paralyzed by fear. I know what you guys are going to say in the comments. You got what you deserved. Gold digger got played. Karma. And you're right. I know you're right. I deserve this. I broke a good man's heart because I was greedy. I was insecure. I let society convince me that money was the only metric of success. But I'm telling you this story as a warning to any young girl out there watching this, looking at Instagram thinking that marrying a rich guy is the goal. Please, listen to me. Financial dependence is not luxury. It is slavery. A Chanel bag does not hug you at night. A penthouse feels like a prison cell if you don't have the key. Mark is happy. He has a partner. He has peace. I have stuff. I have things. But I am emotionally bankrupt. I would give anything to go back to that dorm room in Brooklyn, to eat a $1 slice of pizza with the man who actually loved me, to share a Metro card, to be poor but free, to be poor but loved. But I can't go back. I made my choice, and now I have to live in it. I'm 33 years old. I feel like my life is over, and I'm just waiting out the clock in a designer dress. I don't know how to start over. I don't know if I can. Thank you for listening. I hope you make better choices than I did. At this point, I think I need to tell you a few things. Let's be honest. You didn't marry him because you were a bad person. You married him because you were tired. You were a girl who grew up scared of poverty, and you traded your freedom for safety. But you realized too late that safety without freedom is just a golden cage. Seeing your ex's photo hurts, I know. But let me tell you something. You aren't missing. You miss the girl who could eat a $1 slice pizza and still feel like the richest person in the world because she was free. You miss the version of you that didn't have to beg for an allowance. What your husband is doing, tracking your spending, weaponizing your past, making you feel small, that has a name. It is financial abuse. He wants you to believe you are useless without his money. He wants you to think you are just a lifestyle expense. Do not believe that lie. You are 33. You are not dead. You clawed your way out of poverty once with nothing but grit. That fire, it's still in you. It's just sleeping under that expensive silk robe. You don't have to burn your life down tonight, but start building a secret door. Reconnect with the woman you were before the money. It will be terrifying to leave. You might have to start from zero, but I promise you, a cheap bagel tastes a hell of a lot better when you buy it with your own money. In your own freedom. You are stronger than you think, and you are not alone. Thank you for listening until the very end. If you have a story, a letter you want to share, feel free to send it to me, because maybe your words are exactly what someone out there needs to hear. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss the next letters. I'll see you again here at Midnight Letters. Good night, and may your heart rest gently.